Well, welcome everyone today. I'm Jim Peterson, as you probably know. I'd like to kind of hit on a few points before we jump into the webinar as to how I got involved and why I got involved with the company is called Mindful Planet. The product is well known now, Levelhead. Terrific name, a great concept. You also know that I've been trying and continuously try to bring in valid and reliable tools and techniques to help my associates and my clients with their patients and clients and trainees to have the best tools possible to reduce, manage, and master stress. I've been looking around for a long time and have been thinking about getting into an app, but it's a daunting problem, as Sandra and Jeff will tell you. It's a lot of work and a lot of money. So I came across Sandra on LinkedIn, and we were communicating one day, and we discovered that we lived about 10 minutes apart here in Phoenix. So Sandra and Jeff, her husband, got together. We had coffee. From there, we hit it off pretty well. I liked what they had, and they liked what I had, and we started this conversation. So from what I can see, and now I'm into it quite heavily, the app is an amazing app. And they'll get into that in great detail, so I won't talk about the app. I'm talking about why I got involved. Number two, they're state of the art. I think the tools and techniques and the technology that they use is top of the line, top shelf. Plus the quality of the leadership, just meeting all the people at Mindful Planet, top quality people, great minds, people you'd want to kind of work with. I also feel that it's needed. There's not much out there for employees that they can grab onto and use on a day-to-day basis to help them be focused, mindful, and to use their meditative skills to be optimal performers. So to me, getting into an app area made a lot of sense. It also provides a segue for me and also my associates to work more possibly with companies beyond the app. The app could be a door opener in many ways to more expanded programs. And I think it's a good opportunity for my associates to work with me to bring the Levelhead app into companies from a sales point of view and to benefit financially. So for those reasons and many more, we decided to kind of link up. I'm now a sales rep, if you will, for Levelhead, and I will work with my associates with that in regard. But we're also going to be going into bringing the Stress Mastery Program, the SMQ, into, we hope, a new Levelhead app with a working title of Levelhead Plus. And that's going to take several months to put together. But once that's together, it's just going to blossom, literally not just in the United States, but worldwide. So having said all that, I'm going to turn it over to whoever's going to take the microphone next, Sandra. I'll turn it to you, and thanks for the opportunity to work with you.
Well, thanks, Jim. It's just been a pleasure. I knew from about 3 minutes on, and it may have taken me 3 minutes, I was a little slow that morning, to realize that Jim and I were on the exact same journey and path, and it was like minds, and we immediately connected and could see all kinds of wonderful things that we could do together. His experience is really incredible, as you all know, so thank you very much for those very nice comments. Just very quickly, I don't know when everybody joined us. I'll just introduce the Levelhead team so everybody knows who everybody is. I'll start with Kevin Walsh. He's going to be helping me do some of the presentation today. You'll hear a little more from him, and he'll be the guy that you might be getting information from. He's in charge of business development, but also he really takes great care of all of our clients. So I call him also client services as well. And actually on my little square here, it looks like the Brady Bunch to me, doesn't it, to all of you? Right in there is James Walsh. And, you know, I don't know, they might be related. James is responsible for our social media communications and many other things, working directly with Sue Brannick, who is our communications manager. Wave, Sue, say hi. Sue Brannick, and Sue and Kevin, and introducing Todd we all worked together at JP Morgan for many, many years. I would say actually decades. And I'm so lucky to, they still wanted to work with us after all those years. So I know what their level of experience is, and most importantly, I know their character. And character to me is the most important thing. And you can count on them to help you out in any way you want. And last but certainly not least is my co-founder and very patient business partner and loving husband, Jeff, in the red, who, yes, you see the crutches there. He had a broken foot, so we now have transitioned to a boot. And those of you who have ever had one or had someone close to you go through this experience, I celebrate every milestone with him. So we now can move around a little bit. So today we're going to make it very informal. We're going to go through some information, and sometimes it might be best, you can do a couple of things here if you have questions. Dan, if you know how to use the chat button, you can put a question in there and we can catch it later. But if you just want to make a note, and we'll kind of capture the thoughts and suggestions as we move through here. Sometimes in my experiences, I've had as many as 50 or 60 people on here. It gets a little unwieldy if we stop in the middle of this. But if you don't mind, if you just want to use the chat button, I think that'd be best. Well, first of all, let me give you a 3-minute, at the most, introduction of how Levelhead came to be. I don't know about you, but I find that most people find the story just as interesting as the product. Well, first of all, I was with JP Morgan for 35 years. I travel for the last 2 decades every single day on an airplane. I've been in every podunk town in America. If they had a Chase branch, I was there. And let me assure you, most of the accommodations were not deluxe. I'll just leave it at that. But I understood stress firsthand, and I practiced during that period of time what I call survival mindfulness, which means I did just enough to relieve enough stress so I could get up the next day and go to work. So when I transitioned from JP Morgan, I decided, frankly, after that many decades, there had to be more to life, and I really wanted to move on to my next passion. I didn't know exactly what that was, but I knew I was ready to move on. So when I left JP Morgan, I explored lots of different things, but one thing I wanted to do for sure was to deepen my mindfulness or meditation practice. So I got certified in the MBSR, the program at UCLA. I went to the Berkeley programs. I did silent retreats. I was deep into it, ladies and gentlemen. I was so zen, but I really didn't want to talk to anybody. I really liked the silence, which is really kind of a funny thing that happens if you've ever done those kinds of things. But anyway, I became really curious about the changes I was seeing in myself, and I said, gee, and remember, this was almost 7 years ago, why doesn't everybody know about this, and why aren't businesses embracing it? And so I immersed myself in the research of it. And 7 years ago, it wasn't a lot of research in the organization or the business world in mindfulness, but there was a little bit trickling out, and there was enough of it to know that there was something to it. So Levelhead really began when I was teaching at the graduate program at Arizona State, a mindful leadership program. And I could see that the late 20-something, early 30-something could not sit still for a minute. I mean, it was actually, you could see it. It was painful. I see, Todd's smiling because he teaches statistics at a university. So he knows what I'm saying. They can't sit still, much less practice or keep their mind calm. So through necessity, I started developing practices that were very short. And I began to see over 3 years of teaching this course that there were ways that we could incorporate mindfulness into day-to-day activities, and people could start to see tremendous change in themselves. Transitioning from that, I started working with executives around town. And one-on-one work was very rewarding, but frankly, I couldn't get the message out. So I ran into an executive I was doing some personal coaching with on this, and he has a technology company. He said, Sandra, come talk to me. I think you need to figure out a way to scale this. So my very willing and open business partner and I over, this has now been, we started this in early 2016. The development part of the program took probably 2 years for the technology and the testing. So a lot of the things that you see here are the result of trying a few things and changing it so that we could get the balance as close as possible to what people could actually use and use in a way that was convenient to them for the most number of people. It will never be perfect. There's lots of development things we want to do, but I think that time and testing will show as you go through it. So let's move through very quickly through some of these. I want to get to this. And at our stage of our life, to start something new like this and put a lot of our hard-earned money into something, it has to be for a higher purpose. And our purpose is to help people to choose to live a happy, healthy life. And, you know, a lot of times you see people in organizations that we do work with, and they're truly suffering. And I know all of you probably see it too, and they don't have to. They're always looking at the external world to the reasons why they're not happy and they're not healthy, when in fact, if you start with the inside, you can actually start moving towards living the kind of life that they want to. And I'm going to apologize in advance. I've got a cold like everybody else in America, I think. And again, I know I won't read you these statistics. I am quite sure, because you're all steeped in the science of stress and other healthy living kinds of things, to realize we've not shown these statistics to anyone that's disputed it. The only dispute we get is probably worse than this, because the world is stressed out, distracted, time-starved, and unhealthy. And I used to think those were an exaggeration, particularly the unhealthy part. But the more we all look at some of these kinds of things, Americans are unhealthy. And just so we can level set for definitions, I'm sure that you all are very familiar with the commonly accepted definitions, but just to be clear, we might look at things a little different here. Frankly, I look at mindfulness as the intentional focus on the present. That's it. But it's also with a particular attitude, and an attitude of acceptance and non-judgment. And frankly, that is the hardest part for people to develop. We don't have time today, but there is a whole change model that we've seen in how people become moving towards this more mindful way of living. And as for a practice, a lot of people think of it as meditation. Certainly meditation is an enjoyable, wonderful thing, but actually any activity that allows you to train to be in the present and to understand when your mind has wandered and be able to bring it back is a mindfulness practice. And actually, a lot of the research is now showing that these short practices can deliver just as much benefit as some of the long 20 and 30-minute, because you can actually do them more often. And again, most of you may know a lot of these kinds of things, but why does mindfulness help you make healthy choices? The fact of the matter is it allows you to start to recognize when emotions are driving your decisions. And once you can start figuring those things out and saying, I want to eat something, and then you realize that you're really stressed rather than wanting to eat, you start being able to make a choice. And again, these automatic behaviors that we all do, you know, it's really amazing when you stop and be able to pause and look, why am I doing those? Because simply asking that question gives you the opportunity to change. And particularly in business, this ability to pause before reacting. You know what? I wish I'd had a lot more strength in that area when I was at JP Morgan. I probably would have been a lot happier. And again, these unwanted habits, the same kind of things. But I was fine. Kevin's driving here. You're doing a great job. Keep going. We're going to move through fast. And the neuroscience on this, the other thing is that hopefully this year, and Jim knows what I'm talking about, I'm writing my dissertation as we speak, and hopefully I'll have my doctorate here shortly. And I'll probably be the oldest one to walk across the stage that isn't getting a PhD emeritus. But anyway, I'm driving for it. Again, on how does mindfulness reduce stress? Well, frankly, it's really two parts of it. One is certainly neuroscience, which we won't have to go into the details of that, but it does actually train your brain to a different kind of response. The second part of this is really behavioral oriented, which again is all the things that most people will recognize. When we talk about in the app and all the other education material, we really don't talk too much about the neuroscience part of it, because it's the behavioral part that actually causes changes in the neuroscience. and the connectivity, excuse me. And again, the benefits, as you may be aware, and we see this in organizations across the board, and we'll talk about how we measure some of these things. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes I feel like when I talk about mindfulness, I'm a snake oil salesman. Yes, it can fix that. Yes, it can fix that. But the fact of the matter is, it does benefit a lot of aspects of behavior, because it reaches a lot of fundamental parts of who we are. And for leaders particularly, as Jim mentioned, this program is particularly beneficial when it is run alongside other programs. When, for example, if you're doing a wellness program, or if you're doing a leadership development program, it fits nicely and keeps continuity, as you can see in a few minutes, help you stay in touch with your clients. And also helps people build teams with some of the structural things that we have in that. And again, I'll just let him build these up, and you can see, and all of these are research-based, and we certainly have, if you're inclined to do so, Jim may want to read the research, although he probably has had his fill of it. But the fact of the matter is, it does build a lot of things, particularly the work that I'm now seeing in emotional intelligence and the relationship. There hasn't been a lot of practical ways that people can move their EQ. My guess is most of you have taken those tests and got your results, and you look at it and go, well, that's interesting. Now what do I do? But the fact of the matter is, there's some very clear pathways that you can actually move some of those barometers through mindfulness practice. All right, good. I think my voice is about ready to give up, so I'm going to turn the driving and the talking over to Kevin. Back to you.
Good. Well, thank you, Sandra. Don't go on mute for too long, because I'll need your help in a little minute as we move to the videos. All right, well, listen, it's a pleasure to be with all of you today. It's been great getting to know Jim, and I'm happy to be here with my colleagues from the Levelhead team to be talking about the program with all of you. I think one of Jim's main goals here is to introduce you to the program. And so we'll do that in two parts. One is I'll give you a brief overview of the major components of the program, and then I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Sue, who's going to walk you through what it typically looks like when Levelhead engages with a company, what we do prior to launch, at the time of launch, and then how we support the company long after the launch. So let's dive right in. And maybe we should let me just do a quick time check. All right, I think we're doing just fine on time. All right, so an important point here, while the app will get a whole lot of attention, and we'll be delighted to share that with you. I'll share a couple of demos with you in just a moment. And at Jim's request, at the conclusion of this call, all of you on the call will receive an invitation to participate in the Levelhead program in Jim's Stress Master organization. So you'll all get an invite here later on this evening by our colleague, James. So let me start with a brief overview of the app, and then we'll move into I might as well just put them up here on the screen so you can kind of see what's coming. Because it all really does work together. So of course we have the app. Sandra and Jim have already talked quite a bit about it. There's presently 170 different exercises, micro practices contained within the app, and we're delighted to share that with you at the conclusion of the call. And these give colleagues in an organization the ability to practice really 24/7, anytime, anywhere. We all know that pretty much everyone on the planet has this thing in their hands every day, all day, and the trending, of course, is heading in that direction. And so, as Jim mentioned and complimented us on, we really have used state-of-the-art and the most recent learnings around how adults like to learn through micro practices and little short bursts. So we'll share that with you a little bit more in just a moment. And then you'll also see how we've followed another trend around gamification and made the app a real fun and interesting experience for the individual and for the members of the team around the company. So a lot more on the app here in just a few moments. Sandra talked about her business experience, pardon me, and the rest of us as well. And we know full well that companies who work with Levelhead or really launch any kind of wellness program, there will be those in the company who are going to ask, well, is it working? Are folks using it? What are the outcomes? And so we've spent, candidly, just as much time on the administrative portal as we have on the app. And one of the demo videos kind of touches upon that. So I'll let the video speak for itself. And then last but not least, the third pillar of the Levelhead program is leadership development. You've all heard the expression, a rising tide rises all boats. Well, it's the same here with mindfulness. The less stressed a leader is, it's very likely the less stressed their team is going to be. The more focused a leader is, well, it's very likely their team is going to be more focused, and so on and so on. And so we'll touch a little bit more on the leadership development portion of it as well in just a moment. And then, as Sandra said earlier, and Sue and Todd and Jeff, we all have 30 plus years each experience in large US corporations. And so while we know mindfulness, we also know business. And we know what it takes to run a program like this. And we know folks don't have time. They have very full plates. And so we have, we think, thought of just about everything that a firm might need to launch and sustain a successful engagement with the Levelhead program. And we'll introduce you to these. You'll see some of them when you see the app. And we look forward to talking more about those later on. But I think for now, maybe the main message is here. There's so much more than an app here, while the app, of course, is front and center often. So I'm going to switch here and show you at least 2 videos. Sandra, I'll check in with you after we share the second video and see if we have the time to show the third. But the first 2 really cover all the various components of the Levelhead app. So let me run the first one here.
Welcome to Levelhead. Our digital app is an important part of the program, and we'd like to show you around. This first video focuses on the features designed to get you up and running. Let's start with the home page. After you've activated your account, you'll land here, where it's easy to navigate and explore all there is to offer. At the top of the homepage, you'll see what exercise is up next and can swipe left and right to find out where you left off or view your favorites. As you move down the page, you'll see tracks of exercises available to you, starting with basics, then positive practices, intro to meditation, and so on. Each of the tracks starts with a helpful introductory video with information that highlights the purpose of the track and how to get the most out of it. To view the groups of exercises in any track, simply swipe left to see what's available. Each group holds a variety of brief exercises, averaging around 3 to 5 minutes each, to make it easy for users to incorporate into their daily routine. After selecting a group of exercises, just swipe through to see the options. Click Start to begin an exercise, and you can also pause or rewind as needed. At the bottom of the homepage, in the lower tray, you can go directly to many features that truly set Levelhead apart, including favorites, stickers, team, and your profile. In this video, we'll cover favorites and your profile. Let's take a look. The goal of the Levelhead program is to help you develop your personal practice. And everyone has their own reason, their why, for practicing mindfulness. Whether it's to reduce stress, boost creativity, or one of our favorites, sleep more soundly. While the app is designed for you to begin with track 1 and progress through the tracks in order, you're encouraged to set favorites and revisit them along the way. To set a favorite, just click the heart icon for a particular exercise. Then, when you want to do a favorite exercise, go to the heart icon in the lower tray for immediate access. It's that easy. The last icon in the lower tray takes you to the profile page. This is the spot to view your personal progress, exercises completed, your daily streaks, badges, and when you scroll down, the stickers you've received. When you click on the gear in the upper right, you can also add a profile photo, change your password, and edit your personal information. We hope you take the time to add your photo. It personalizes the experience for you and others on the journey with you. One final reminder, in order to stay in the loop, be sure to enable notifications for the Levelhead app in your phone settings under Notifications. We're excited to have you join the Levelhead community. We invite you to check out part 2 of our video demo for more unique team-building features.
All right, here we go. Here's number 2. All right, second part, here we go.
Welcome to the Levelhead demo, part 2. Levelhead was created for busy people like you and for the workplace too. After decades working in fast-paced, high-stress organizations, we know how important it is to feel supported in a positive and productive team environment. That's why we've built stickers and team features into the program. Stickers are a lot of fun and one of our most popular features. In the Levelhead app, you have an opportunity to send a thoughtful note, a fun message, or a show of appreciation to a colleague right on the spot. It only takes a moment to send a sticker, one that is visible to everyone on the team. Here's how. Start by selecting the thumbs up icon in the lower tray. Select a team member, then click on the sticker you want to send from the options available. Scroll to the left to see them all, including creative, leader, and supportive. Write a short note and hit submit. That's it. You've just made a difference in someone's day. To view stickers you've received, you'll head over to the profile icon, the furthest right icon in the lower tray, and simply scroll down and view them in the stickers section. As we move across the lower tray, you'll also see the team icon. This is where you can view how others on the team are engaging with Levelhead and know you are not alone. By clicking on a team member, you can view their progress, stickers, and badges. You can even send a sticker from this screen too. It's a great way to encourage each other. On the top of this team page, you'll see an option to View Leaderboard. Here you can see who's leading the way with consistent practice, stickers, and daily streaks. You'll notice you can change the time frame too. The idea for the leaderboard and the display of team information was developed by studying tools that are often used to change other types of behavior, such as with a physical exercise program. We hope that by seeing the commitment of colleagues, especially those who are practicing consistently, you'll be inspired, encouraged, and motivated to continue your own personal journey. It's not about competing. It's about support and camaraderie. Of course, in order to see when you've received a sticker and stay up to date with helpful reminders, be sure to enable notifications for the Levelhead app in your phone's settings under Notifications. We are excited to have you join the Levelhead community, people who are leveraging mindfulness-based practices to lead a healthier and happier life. We invite you to check out getlevelhead.com for helpful FAQs and our educational blog. It's another great resource. We wish you all the best on your journey and look forward to hearing about your success.
All right, Sandra, what do you think? I think we have time for the third video. It really kind of brings it all together.
I think so. And what's really funny why he's changing this over, whenever I hear that it's not about competing, I remember why we wrote that line in, Sue. Remember that? One of the very first companies that we rolled out with, they were really into it. And so I walked into their office. It actually was a company here in Phoenix. Walked into their office and they were all about it. They were like going, I'm beating this team and I'm beating that team. And I'm like going, and I sat there for a minute and I had to think about competitive mindfulness. Something bugged me about it. And then the more I've worked with people, I'm like, oh, go for it. As long as they're actually really practicing. And the funny thing about it is that they would challenge you. Are you really practicing? Or are you just clicking through these exercises? So, there's two sides to that. Sorry, Kevin, I had to filler for you.
That's awesome. I appreciate that so very much. It might seem odd to invite you all to a call and then show you 9 minutes worth of video. But there's so much to the program. The app is often center stage as it should, but there's so much more. And sometimes we forget to share everything. So we design these videos and hopefully you find them helpful. They're all available on our website and you can listen to them again if you'd like, watch them again, along with a whole lot more that Sue's going to tell you about in a moment. But this third one is really one of my favorite. I think it really does a nice job of tying the entire program together. So here we go.
Welcome to Levelhead. Our digital app is an important part of the program and we'd like to show you around. This first video focuses on the features designed to get you up and running. Let's start with the home page. After you've activated your account, you'll land here, where it's easy to navigate and explore all there is to offer. At the top of the homepage, you'll see what exercise is up next and can swipe left and right to find out where you left off or view your favorites. As you move down the page, you'll see tracks of exercises available to you, starting with basics, then positive practices, intro to meditation, and so on. Each of the tracks starts with a helpful introductory video with information that highlights the purpose of the track and how to get the most out of it. To view the groups of exercises in any track, simply swipe left to see what's available. Each group holds a variety of brief exercises, averaging around 3 to 5 minutes each, to make it easy for users to incorporate into their daily routine. After selecting a group of exercises, just swipe through to see the options. Click Start to begin an exercise, and you can also pause or rewind as needed. At the bottom of the home page, in the lower tray, you can go directly to many features that truly set Levelhead apart, including favorites, stickers, team, and your profile. In this video, we'll cover favorites and your profile. Let's take a look. The goal of the Levelhead program is to help you develop your personal practice. And everyone has their own reason, their why, for practicing mindfulness. Whether it's to reduce stress, boost creativity, or one of our favorites, sleep more soundly. While the app is designed for you to begin with track 1 and progress through the tracks in order, you're encouraged to set favorites and revisit them along the way. To set a favorite, just click the heart icon for a particular exercise. Then, when you want to do a favorite exercise, go to the heart icon in the lower tray for immediate access. It's that easy. The last icon in the lower tray takes you to the profile page. This is the spot to view your personal progress, exercises completed, your daily streaks, badges, and when you scroll down, the stickers you've received. When you click on the gear in the upper right, you can also add a profile photo, change your password, and edit your personal information. We hope you take the time to add your photo. It personalizes the experience for you and others on the journey with you. One final reminder, in order to stay in the loop, be sure to enable notifications for the Levelhead app in your phone settings under Notifications. We're excited to have you join the Levelhead community. We invite you to check out part 2 of our video demo for more unique team-building features.
We're just kind of building on something Kevin said, is that, we put these videos together primarily because when we would do live demos, when we first started doing customer demos, we'd do a demo and then we'd get off the call and say, oh, doggone it, we forgot to show them this. So we did this for consistency, but I think the biggest benefit that we've had, particularly when we're looking for opportunities to help a client, like we'll have a first kind of call with them. These are really great tools. Often we don't show this when we do client first interactions. We send it to them later so they can look at it. And I think it really gives people the opportunity to really think about it and then it starts the conversation for the next time you meet with them.
All right, well, I think this is my last slide for now, and it's really one of my favorite. I'll be very brief here, and maybe at the end, we've saved time for Q&A at the end, and maybe some of you might have questions about companies we're already working with. I'll just let this stay on the slide or on the screen for just a moment, and then I'll turn it over to my pal Sue to talk about how we launched this program with clients. But it's really an honor and a privilege to work with companies across the country. We're actually working with a few companies internationally. And it's really a privilege to try to bring this program and to read these notes of thanks that we get from our participants. So I'm not going to read all these to you. You can see the words there. They're kind of highlighted in bold around the benefits of the program. Now, my favorite, and I'll be brief here, is not even on this page. And it's from a colleague who thanked their employer for bringing the Levelhead program to their workplace because it made her be able to handle her stress levels a little bit better. And she, in turn, was able to then help her son, who's autistic, to help him regulate his own emotions and, just deal with life on a daily basis. And her letter was really quite touching. It was too long to share on a slide like this. But my guess is, well, one, we know she was a very happy colleague and she was happy with the program. But my guess is she's even happier with her employer for providing such a tool to help her and really then her family. So, all right, with that, I didn't mean to go too prematurely, Sue. Sue's going to share with you how we typically launch
Hey,
the
Kevin,
program.
before we go to that, just wanted to interject something on this. These are great stories about how organizations see benefit in the program. But one of the points I want to make sure that before we depart today is that we do pre and post assessments, quantitative assessments. We didn't touch on those today in the interest of time, just so you can learn on it. We'd be happy to share what that is. And we gather statistics so that we can show them how they move stress levels, how they improve engagement at work, and how they actually improve awareness and attention. We've customized, and we got a big database so that we can compare how other organizations that have been on our program, how they compare in the pre and the post. And we're starting to get enough data that we can actually look at it by industry. So anyway, we won't go into that today, but I just want to make sure you understood we do both sides of it, the quantitative and the qualitative. Back to Sue, the important part, the communications piece.
Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, everybody, for taking time out today. It's a pleasure to be here with you. As Kevin mentioned, and it's a perfect segue, Sandra, the assessments. Before we get started with a client, as we're meeting with them, again, before launch, it's a very turnkey program. So I'll say that right up front. It doesn't require a lot of, long meetings, or a lot of technology. We make it very, very simple for them. But it's very important for us as we're meeting with clients before their launch to understand their goals and objectives, to understand what assessments make the most sense for them. And so we take a little bit of time to just get to know them, get to know their goals, and design a customized plan for them. And then, of course, comes launch. And I would say to you, really, the relationship is great at the beginning, but that's really where the relationship continues and begins. We don't just walk away when the app is launched and leave it at that. We really provide a robust support, as you saw in some of the videos, of education, communication, encouragement, inspiration, whatever we can do to just keep mindfulness top of mind, to keep the purpose of practicing top of mind, and to help build a good habit. Obviously, building habits and changing behavior takes a lot of time. And so here's a sample communications calendar that we use for all of our clients, and we create a customized calendar for each of our clients, and we go through it with them. Before the launch, we spend time, we have materials ready for them if they need to have a presentation for an all-employee meeting or a town hall. We have email communications ready for them that they can use to introduce it. We write newsletter articles for them. Whatever is needed to help them do a very informative and customized launch to their team. So that all happens before launch. And then you'll see once launch happens, they get, like you will today, you'll get your email with an activation code. We also send an email with the demo videos that you just saw, the first two, making it easy for them to get to know the program and what it can do. We found that a lot of people don't like to read. They like to watch videos these days. So that's another reason why we created these videos. Everything in orange on this calendar you will see are sample push notifications. So those notifications that you get on your phone, we send them out. They're 140 characters or less. Again, they're meant to just encourage, inspire, and a lot of feedback from people saying, you guys must have read my mind. That push notification was exactly what I needed to remind me to either pause or to take a breath before I go to that next meeting. And so those are really just helpful reminders for folks. You will also see that we send emails on the assessments that Sandra talked about. We have a monthly newsletter that we produce. And we also have a series of videos that we send out, again, to provide not only inspiration, but education as well, and how mindfulness works and the benefits it provides. All right, Kevin, if you want to jump to the next one. The other thing that we do for for all of our clients, and we call them our champions, our folks that are assigned to really be the company point person, is we have a very full, robust resource center with lots of tools for them. So we have a champion guide with tips and suggested push notifications and things that they can do. We have videos specific to them. We have handouts they can use. We've created some fun posters they can post in their workplace. We have infographics they can insert into meeting agendas, into their company newsletter. And then, of course, we have a full video library and a full, we call them mini podcasts, because again, we know people don't have a lot of time. They're 2 to 3 minutes at the most, to just answer FAQs and kind of talk about our own experiences and ahas and how mindfulness has worked for us. So it's a really robust resource center that people have really appreciated, because they don't have to send us a note. They just have these available at their fingertips anytime they need them. And like I mentioned in the last couple bullets, here's just an example of our video library. We talk about the definition of mindfulness, the benefits of mindfulness, and some of the practices that are available. The mini podcasts have been really popular too. Especially, I know there's a couple on here. There's one about how our pets have, trained us to be more mindful. There's one on weight loss and mindfulness. There's just a lot of different ones. Kevin did one on lessons from his grandson that's very popular. And our latest 4 episodes were on Sandra's intentions for the new year. And those have been getting a lot of play too. So you'll see that our communications really just begin once you launch, or a client launches. But you will get regular communications from us, and you guys will all experience this too. Once we launch the app, you'll be put right into a customized communication plan for Stress Master. So you'll get to see the videos and a lot of the communications we do as well. Kevin, I'll turn it back to you.
You're on mute.
I was.
That's like me.
All right, well, thank you, Sue. There's clearly a lot here to Jim and all of his reps on the call. Please know that, for the client, it does not at all feel like drinking from a fire hose. There is a lot here, but we laid it out very, very nicely for them in a really nice chronological order, bite-sized pieces for them to participate in the program. All right, well, as usual, we're running long, and so I'm going to try to be very brief here. And Sandra, if you want to add to any of this, please do, and then maybe we'll jump to Q&A here in just a moment. But we thought maybe there might be some questions, and Jim, you too, around kind of my thoughts around what's next. Well, one of the questions you might have is, well, how do I learn more about Levelhead? There's a lot here. How do I learn more? So, of course, our website is really the best place for you to go. Almost everything, nearly everything that we share with you today here is on getlevelhead.com. So please go here, please go there, to learn more. And then all of us are here for a reason. We want to be here to support you, so you can reach out to any of us, any day, all day, to learn more. Jim asked me to cover perhaps what the ideal prospect might look like. We are hopeful, of course, that our association with Stress Master International, we will find clients that we can work with together. And so that was one of the questions I think Jim said to address. What is the ideal prospect? Well, I'll ask anyone to help me if they disagree with me here, but candidly, it's any company, any size, any vertical. Like you already know, stress is universal, and the benefits of mindfulness can be universally applied in just about any workplace. Our pricing is structured such that we can handle very small companies and companies up to thousands and thousands of colleagues. Generally speaking, 300-person firm or larger is generally a target for us, but we can handle smaller organizations as well. So I think my advice on the prospecting part of it is, like Jim has done, if you have ideas on companies where you think this would be a good fit, just give us a call. We'll talk through it. We'll share with you perhaps what we've done with other companies in that type of vertical, and we can brainstorm with you on the best way to approach the company on it. Also, a question Jim said, where to go with your prospects? Well, call me, Kevin at GetLevelhead, or the email, Kevin at getlevelhead.com, and I'll share my cell phone number with you as well. All of us are here, and I think, well, Jim would attest this, I'm sure, very responsive, and we'll give you whatever it is that you need. So I think those are the, and then also what's next, we might have already mentioned this. At the conclusion of the call today, you'll all receive the invitation code. Sue has mentioned that, and the videos. Downloading the app is literally a 30-second process once you have the access code, and rarely does anyone have any difficulty. If you do, just please reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. So I think next our plan is to go to
Kevin,
Oh, yes.
I think Jim typed it. Can you look at the chat box? I won't read it to
Oh,
you. Ask a
certainly.
question to everybody. So that might be a good one for you to handle. Can you get it?
Yes, yeah, I just need, excuse me. Yes, I just need to, oh, there we go. Thank you. I have a lot of open windows on my screen. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Do you want me to read it to you? Is that better?
No, I finally, I have it here. All right, so it's the one about bringing a corporate client?
Right.
Yes, all right. So the question is, if we bring a corporate client to you, how does the sales presentation work from the Levelhead point of view? Who does the sales presentation? Well, oftentimes, without a Stress Masters participant, oftentimes the presentation is delivered by Sandra and I and other members of the team. We would be delighted to have a Stress Masters international representative join us in the delivery of said presentation. And so I think the bottom line here, and Sandra, please correct me if I'm wrong, we would typically approach that where we welcome your involvement if that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I would say it's just as simple as this. You've talked with someone, you've got enough information to know they might have an interest. You know, it might be a simple call to one of us or an email or whatever's convenient to you. Just kind of chat about what is it that you think would be of interest to that client. We could actually strategize around how to do a presentation. Sometimes we actually customize it. Like tomorrow, Jeff and I are presenting to law enforcement. We made a few changes in the way that we're going to present what we do. And the other day, for example, we found out that someone was really interested in using our program for leadership development. That actually gives that we take a little bit different slant to it as well. So once we kind of understand that and have a very quick conversation, like again, it could be an email, we can together strategize what would be the best way to approach the client. So we'll do as little or as much as you want. Let's see another one. Okay, how long is the sales presentation? How long is the typical contract? Typically, our contracts are for a year, although we now have clients that are wanting multi-year contracts, which we love. And frankly, we offer a little better pricing if they want to do that. But typically, it's a year. And let's see, what have you faced in selling your program? Number one, actually, the truth of the matter is almost everybody sees value. Here's the issue. The issue becomes, how do they communicate it and position it within the organization? Organizations that and we're really starting to get a lot of experience of helping people position it to the next level up that has to buy it, that has to sign off on it. Matter of fact, we've created some tools and materials of how to talk about the ROI, coming up with the goals, how are you going to measure whether it's successful or not. And so we give them the tools to actually present it to their boss or the next level up that has to do it. So I think that's probably the greatest challenge. But Kevin, you might be closer and have a different perspective on that. Or Jeff, anybody else want to add anything?
No, I think you've covered it well, Sandra. Thank you.
Can I ask a question though?
Of course.
Hi, Sandra and everyone else. So do you follow up after a stress mastery workshop, or do you just come in with the presentation of the app? How do you go about this when you're working with corporate or any business?
Well, we haven't done anything the Stress Masters yet. So
Okay.
if you want to, have any ideas about that, please jump in.
Well, because that's where I would go with this myself,
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to have a program happening within the next 6 months, if not sooner, and it would be a stress mastery workshop. Of course, I would need to feel comfortable with this myself before I would bring this on, but I could see this as possibly bringing it in afterwards to support what I had already, educated them on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I think, just to say something, Paul, I think that's a great idea. And I think what I see is that there's a front end and a back end. This could be actually presented as an individual or solely as a standalone product. but it can also be integrated into programs that we're creating or our associates are creating, and they're doing stress mastery programs. And this could be then something that was brought in as part of that program and maybe even included in the price of the program once we coordinate with Sandra and the team on that end. So I think you got to look at it from a couple different points of view.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question from June came, can tips and information resources be added and customized for the company? Absolutely. We've done that a lot, particularly with the communication piece as well. Like, for example, for the individual, because we find that we know that the leaderboard and some of the other tools actually help change behavior. But some people are sensitive to having their name on it. So we actually have them just put their first name, or to do an alias or something fun they want to do if the company wants to do it. So there's a lot of ways that we can work with the company on how they want to customize it, particularly if they're doing it for leadership development. There's a lot of things that we can do special for that.
How do you see this fitting into the wellness community that Lisa works with? And I see, obviously, they've meshed together, but I think this makes more sense if it's integrated into a program at times.
I totally agree. It actually works best. You'll get more traction if it's either introduced as part of the program and allows to keep continuity together and actually keep that cohort together that goes through a program that they can actually share and cheer each other on. I think it could be. I really think it would be a great addition.
Cool. Good.
Any other questions? Just jump in there. You don't have to type it in now that we're all just chatting.
Paula, when are you going to be doing your program?
Well, I don't know. I'm having a meeting Monday with them.
Okay,
and,
cool.
And we'll go from there. But I know that they want to start off. They want to readdress this is the bank that we had talked about, but they want to readdress starting with stress. So.
I see this as a great presentation, Levelhead team, and I hope that maybe we could do something like this again, because I think we're going to have to grow into this whole concept that I think is rather new to a lot of people. And while we all understand apps, the use of the apps, how well they're used, how long they're used, what I see that you've got going here builds that behavioral and attitudinal change that is so hard to get. And why most programs fail is because they're just one-shot deals. And you and I know, and you've been in corporate world, how many one-shot seminars and workshops have you gone to, and then you walk away and you have nothing to hang on to.
Right.
Well, this provides something that you can't get very easily. And from my point of view, integrates perfectly into any stress management program or any stress mastery program or any wellness program.
No, I thank you for saying that, Jim. And I have to tell you that what a great group of people you have here today. So thank you very much for everybody's time. And you're right, we can do as much or as little. I know it was a lot of stuff to throw at you, but if we give you a little bit of it, you'd be scratching your head. Well, I'm not sure how this works. So we're here anytime. We love doing this. And, it's obviously we're very passionate about it. So you just want us to do
What I'd like to suggest is that we follow up in a couple of weeks for anybody, maybe just simply for a more casual, like a mindfulness kind of program where we might just simply share ideas and talk about how this might work. And that way we can get more synergy. And we just got the tip of the iceberg. I can tell you there's another 10 or 15 people who couldn't make it today who want to see this, but I also want them to have the interaction with you guys so that they can begin to integrate this into their programs and their mindset and how they might be able to utilize it going forward, both from a programmatic point of view, but also from a financial point of view.
No, that's great. We're here to whatever you need to do. And I agree with you, Jim. The best learning will take place as people start sharing ideas or start asking questions of themselves, other people. No, that would be awesome. I saw Kevin write it down, so it'll happen.
All right. Well, my headset off here. Really appreciate everybody attending. I don't know if I feel like I'm closing it up. I don't want to end your program, but I think
you get the last word, Jim.
Have a stress-free day.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you so
Cheers.
much.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thanks, everybody. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Hi,
All right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, James,
Yes.
oh,
Hi.
are we going to connect